Welcome to the end of the world, folks. Or as the people in Nippon Sangoku call it, the good old days. Imagine Japan got hit by a nuclear war, a deadly virus, and a massive earthquake all in one weekend. Civilization didn't just collapse, it did a backflip into the Meiji era. Technology is dead, the population is a tenth of what it used to be, and the country is split into three warring states, Yamato in the west, Bo in the east, and Sei in the north. It's a three-kingdom style clustermuck where everyone is a weapon of mass distraction, except for our main character, who decided to bring a dictionary to a sword fight. Today we're recapping the first 3 episodes. We're watching the rise of Masumi Aoteru. He's not a chosen one with a magic eye. He's just a man who realized that in a world full of worthless rats with sharp sticks, the guy who knows how to use his tongue is the one who survives. We start in the Yamato territory. Aoteru is a 15-year-old low-ranking official whose job is, wait for it, agriculture. He's married to Saki, a woman who is 16 and has about 10 times the main character energy he does. She's fierce, she's headstrong, and she actually cares about justice. Caring about justice in a dystopian war zone? Yeah, that's a great way to ensure you don't see episode 2. Enter the villain, Minister Taira Denki. This guy is a literal monster who poisoned the emperor to become a puppet master. He visits Aoteru's village and we get the potato incident. A peasant prostrating before Taira accidentally drops some potatoes. Taira trips, gets a tiny bit of dirt on his fancy robes, and decides the only logical response is to have the man drawn and quartered by 4 horses. Saki can't stand it. She insults Taira's tax collector, calls Taira a fatty, and defends the villagers. The next morning, Aoteru wakes up to see a box in the snow. I'll give you 3 guesses what's in it, and the first 2 don't count. Saki is dead, beheaded. Most protagonists would scream at the sky or charge in to get killed. But Aoteru, he's different. He walks up to the man who murdered his wife and uses his first weapon of mass distraction, eloquence. He traps the tax collector in a logical loop. He points out that if the collector reported Saki called Taira fatty, then the collector is admitting he also thinks Taira is fat. Taira, being a narcissistic sociopath, has the tax collector beheaded on the spot. Aoteru didn't need a blade to kill his wife's executioner. He just needed the guy to be as stupid as he looked. Episode 2. Aoteru buries Saki and decides the world is too broken to fix with farming. He vows to reunify Japan, which is an ambitious goal for a kid who looks like he'd get bullied by a librarian. He heads to Osaka to take the Toryumon, the entrance exam for the elite Borderland General Corps. On the way, he meets Yoshitsune Asama. Yoshitsune is the typical anime hero archetype. He's a noble, he's a combat genius, and he's arrogant enough to have his own gravitational pull. He spends the whole episode acting like a weapon of mass distraction, beating up thugs and talking about his lineage. We've all seen this guy before. He's the one who thinks honor is something you can eat. Aoteru and Yoshitsune have a philosophical debate that basically boils down to, can you win a war with just a sword? Yoshitsune says yes. Aoteru knows that a sword is just a tool for people who aren't smart enough to start a revolution with a pen. Yoshitsune brought a knife to a brain fight and still thinks he's winning. Episode 3 brings us to the trial. They meet General Rumon, a man who is actually respected because he isn't a total degenerate. He gives the applicants one condition to pass: make me bend a knee. Most of the applicants are ugly losers who try to rush him and get swatted like flies. Yoshitsune steps up and actually manages to do it. He uses a high-speed follow-up attack that forces Rumon to drop a knee to keep his balance. It's impressive, sure, but it's still just hit thing hard. Then it's Aoteru's turn. He doesn't pull a weapon. He pulls out an agricultural policy. I know. Recap guy, you promised me violence, not tax reform. But watch this. Aoteru explains a system to turn the soldiers into farmers. He shows how to stabilize the food supply, fix the economy, and build a base of power that can actually sustain a long-term war for reunification. He's not just asking to be a soldier, he's pitching a takeover. Rumon is so impressed by the sheer scale of Aoteru's vision that he willingly kneels, not because he was beaten, but because he recognizes a superior mind. We get a 3-year time skip. Aoteru's plan worked. The borderlands are thriving, the army is fed, and our boy is no longer a worthless rat. He's a strategist. The greatest warrior in the land knelt for a kid who talked about fertilizer. If that isn't a power move, I don't know what is. Welcome to the Imperial Court, the natural habitat of the ugly loser elite. This isn't a government, it's a theater production where the actors get paid in human suffering. And sitting at the center of this circus is our favorite walking cholesterol spike, Taira Denki. He's the prime minister, the de facto dictator, and arguably the most dangerous man in the Three Kingdoms. He doesn't just lead, he consumes. As you can definitely see, he's the one who ordered the Bungeon Purge, the literal deletion of the intellectual class, because he prefers a nation of idiots he can control. Then we have the Emperor. Look at this kid. He's the textbook puppet ruler trope. He's got the crown, the robes, and the authority of a goldfish in a tank full of piranhas. He's barely a character. He's a piece of furniture that Taira Denki uses to authorize his own paychecks. Seriously, kid, blink twice if you're being held hostage by the plot. Oh wait, he can't. Taira probably owns his eyelids. But then a report hits the table. The Rumon army in the borderlands, which was supposed to be a graveyard for failed soldiers, has suddenly become the most prosperous and disciplined force in the nation. The lords are baffled. They think it's a fluke. But Denki, being the intuitive sociopath he is, smells something different. He realizes there's a new brain in the mix. Aoteru's Kondon land reform system isn't just about farming. It's a masterclass in logistics that has effectively bypassed the capital's greedy tax collectors. Let's talk about a career glow-up. Most people in this world are lucky if they survive a week, but Misumi Aoteru and Yoshitsune Asama aren't most people. After Aoteru's logic bomb during the trial, General Ryuman didn't just give them a pat on the back, he gave them a path to power. Think about it. 3 years ago, Aoteru was worrying about potato yields. Now, he's a staff officer crafting the grand strategy of a military powerhouse. And Yoshitsune, he's gone from a wandering noble with a chip on his shoulder to a high-ranking commander who's basically the fist to Aoteru's brain. It's the ultimate power couple of the post-apocalypse. And then the mood sours. Just as our boys are getting used to their new ranks, the horizon gets a very specific, very dangerous color. We're talking about the Yellowcoats. These aren't Yamato soldiers. These are the advanced forces of a foreign power, the northern state of Sei. They aren't here for a diplomatic chat. Clad in their distinctive yellow raincoats, they look like a tidal wave of steel ready to crash against the border. Aoteru finally got his promotion, and his first reward is a front row seat to the start of a world war. Talk about a tough first day at the office. If you enjoyed this dive into political suicide, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see Aoteru walk into a den of lions with nothing but a scroll and a grudge. Comment below if you think Denki is going to regret not finishing the job 3 years ago. Promotion is great, but it's hard to spend your salary when you're buried in a ditch. See you in episode 4. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment what anime you want Low-key anime to recap.